The past few weeks have witnessed an avalanche of controversies around the 5G network, popularly called 5G. Many say its installation is in progress in Lagos State and Abuja, which is the main target of the total lockdown order by the government. And while some have played up its health hazard, linking it with the novel coronavirus pandemic, others have marveled at what they call absolute ignorance and sheer madness. What is more baffling, though, is the speed at which some of these unfounded statements travel and their level of believability by the unsuspecting public. Joining us this morning from our Abuja studio is the Vice-Chairman of the Broadcast Organizations of Nigeria, Sir Godfrey Ohuabunwa. Good morning to you, sir. Good to have you here. We're really happy to talk to somebody about this.
Good morning.
Good morning. I don't want to call it a conspiracy theory. It's a theory that many people believe, many people have done their research behind. And then, as I've said in the introduction, it's a theory that some people have just dismissed as being unfounded. What are your thoughts on 5G's link to the spread of coronavirus?
Thank you very much. Good morning. Basically, there's been a lot of controversy and a lot of argument and a lot of talk about the 5G and the coronavirus. Firstly, I would like to put it clear. I don't believe that completely that the coronavirus or the 5G is the cause of the coronavirus. That is one point. Two is that we need to understand what first is the 5G. A lot we talked about the 5G, the benefit of the 5G, how the speed will increase, how there's bigger channels, the latency, ability, all that are good. But the one point that is critical that everybody must understand is that yes, 5G must not have, from my own perspective, directly, completely what is causing the COVID-19 or the coronavirus. But there is something that is critical. One is that every technology comes with its own advantage. Over the years, environmentalists, biologists, scientists, people of faith has tried to marry technology with nature. And the truth is that every time man or human beings are advance in technology, there is something that gives up. Now, we talked about the issue of radiation. Yes, non-iodizing radiation or iodizing radiation. Even science, in the recent, some discoveries have agreed that some amount of radiation that was done with mice affects if you take it up to the 4th level. So those who are making arguments, particularly the faith-based people and pundits, has some issues. And I believe for me that what is critical at this time is not just COVID-19. The truth be told, every technology impacts on life of people. Now, at this time, I don't think that there's a lot of research work that has been done on the toxicology of the impact of 5G. 5G is moving from 1 to 100 leap. So definitely there's an impact. And we've seen some videos and places in the UK and various other places where the radiation pattern or what is seen to be radiation pattern is impacting on plant. The question everybody will ask, why? For me, as somebody in the media industry, I agree fully that, and I believe that the technology of 5G will change lives, will provide a lot of leap in technology, will help how we live, will improve our living standard. But the truth is that, one example, somebody asks you, you want to take me to a leap. How does it affect my belief? How does it affect my person? And we should not forget that every time we've moved technology, there has been argument. And I speak probably as a Christian. As a Christian or as a believer or somebody of faith. Every time man distorts the ecosystem, it affects our natural system. And something gives up. And that's why you see this cry. Yes, scientists, there is no much complete scientific proof that COVID-19 is properly related to 5G. But truth be told, every technology impacts on the life of people adversely or positively. So the outcry of COVID-19 or the impact of 5G to COVID-19, my take is very simple. government must listen, because whatever technology you're providing is for the people. If you say you want to give me food and I say I don't want it, then you should listen. So I think that the first thing, and I'm happy that the government has taken that decision, is to listen to the people and go back and do a further review of the impact of 5G, not just on COVID-19, but on its radiation, on its health hazards, on its impacts on the people. So that's what I think on that level.
Okay, very important and reassuring what you have just said. But, like you did mention, every technology, has advantages to the user, or the users, if you like. But then again, there are disadvantages. And I'd like you to, talk about those disadvantages. And how can you reassure the average Nigerian or anyone wherever who is concerned about the rollout of 5G and the impact, the negative impact, that it may have on them? Would you say that the disadvantages really are not so serious in a way that we should push back on the rollout of 5G?
No, what I said is very clear. First, I acknowledge as somebody in the media that 5G has a lot of advantages, and I'll say the advantages is: one, we already know issue of speed. Two, the whole essence of the mile, the last mile. 5G is the last mile. Remember, I started with cell phone. We just want to talk. From talking voice, we went to data, which is people sending things. Now we're going to full video. Video is the last mile, and the last mile is that people are demanding more of speed. So these are things people are demanding. They are good things. But the question you ask, these good things are good to some people, but does it really add value to life beyond just being good? So my answer to your question directly is that 5G, like every technology, has a problem. It has a health hazard. So I'm not saying it doesn't have. I think it does have. Because there's no, as much as they say there's no scientific proof to show that all those things that showed that plants are being damaged, birds are falling down from the sky, there is also no scientific proof, as I today know, that have given us enough science or done a lot of toxicology on the impact. So let people, let government, let the technologies bring to us the latest environmental impact assessment of 5G. So I believe that we should tread with caution. That's one part on it. We should tread with caution. And besides, Nigeria is still on the 4G. We haven't even migrated to digital. The other impact of it, despite the health impact, there's also economic impact. You move from 1G, 2G, 3G, and 4G. 4G started about 10 years ago. As of today, Nigeria is not even covered with 4G. So what's the rush with 5G? So there are a lot of things people must put into consideration. We haven't even migrated from analog television to digital television. It's been taking us 10 years to do that. So 5G is good. Let's allow people who want to try, let them try it out. Let's Nigeria, first of all, wait. Let us have enough environmental impact assessment report on the toxicology. A lot of biologists have spoken. I was watching Channel on the other day, and I heard the biologists speak that there is impact. If the biologists and some other people have said there is an impact, in a situation like we have also seen riot, not inside what I mean, we've seen a lot of people campaign. This morning, my pastor called me, and they believe that the 5G is all part of that, all part of the plan of the sign of end time. That is another postulation. But for me, as a Nigerian, as somebody in the media space, my take on it is that, yes, there is no completely proof, but there's some evidence. I've seen videos, whether it is real or fake, I haven't verified them. I've seen videos of birds falling down from the sky. I've seen videos of plants burned one side. I don't know what the reasons are. But what I think is this: if you look at the technology of 5G, 4G, 3G, we are on the spectrum of 800, 700, 900, 1800 megahertz. Now the masts or the network of it stands in a very high mass of 100 or 150 feet high with a high power. But today, the 5G technology has more number of deployment. So in a square kilometer where you had, for example, one mast or one base station, today in a square kilometer from what I hear, you may have 200, may have 10 or 20 of such masts. And not only that, what they call the MIMO. The MIMO is multiple input and multiple output. What it means, so one base station of a 5G has close to 10 to 200 antennas around it. Those are some radiation. Even if those things are radiating just 1 meg or whatever it is, it has an impact. So I'm not a scientist completely, but I've looked at the whole discussion going around on both sides, and I believe that government should tread cautiously. I know businessmen want to do their business, but as a country, what is the benefit to us today? We're already catching up on 4G. Besides, investment are being made on 4G. And secondly, this particular 5G has some impact, and I'll tell you social impact. Now, Internet of Things, or even internet is a good thing. People like internet, but today I have a problem. My problem with internet is that I no longer can sleep. I have a problem that I'm supposed to close work for 8 hours. But today we work for 24 hours. Internet is good, but it has impacted on our family life. You can't have a simple conversation with your wife or loved one in a restaurant because you're playing on the phone. So they have some social impact. Something gives away. So this argument by some believers or faith-based people also creates some fear. And what is the fear is that it's not far-fetched. If you look at what 5G can do, 5G will do augmented virtual augmentation, virtual reality. It will allow machine to talk to human being. It will allow machine to machine. We are watching where somebody can put a chip in his body and he become a machine. This has some impact. Human beings don't take things like this easily. So we must understand that those who are shouting are not lunatics. And I think those who are attacking them should be careful. I don't think that those who are against or those who are speaking out for the 5G are lunatics. They have some points and they must be listened to. And as government, we should tread with caution. There's no rush in 5G. We have 4G Nigeria is not complete 4G yet.
Absolutely. So, Godfrey, I think it's very refreshing to speak with somebody who doesn't just, poo-poo the fact that 5G has no implications, because clearly it does. As you stated, each level of radiation has its own implications upon a populace. And there are critics that have likened it to a frog sitting in boiling water, that if you were to put a frog directly in boiling water, it would jump straight out. But if you put it in cold water and start to warm up the fire gradually, it feels as though it's comfortable. So these critics are stating that that's what's happening to human beings, whereby each level is simply preparing us for the next level. But at the point where we have now reached 5G, the fifth generation rather, it's unsafe. US senators have even stated, there are viral videos going around from inside the Senate House where US senators have questioned those in charge of the telecommunications industries in America, asking them if they have done any approved testing on this, and they said categorically no, that they haven't, and they simply don't know the effects of 5G on human beings. But what people are stating now is the fact that there's a difference between COVID-19 and 5G's effects. 5G as a radiation technology affects people by bringing you shortness of breath, by restricting your movement. It inhibits you basically as a human being. And what they are stating now is that COVID-19 is the name that they've given to the effects, or the human effects of what the 5G radiation causes. Nigeria has stated that we're going to have 90%, or envisions rather, that we'll have 90% 4G, 5G by 2025. And after we come back from the break, I'm going to ask you your thoughts on that, and if you think it's even a possibility. But we'll take a quick break. Stay with us. Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. We are still joined by the Vice Chairman of the Broadcast Organizations of Nigeria, Sir Godfrey Ohuabunwa. Now, I asked you before we went to the break if you believe that Nigeria's or rather the fact that Nigeria envisions us getting to the level of 4G and 5G implementation, full implementation that is, by 2025, if you think that is a possibility, considering the fact that we haven't fully laid 4G or digital.
Yes, like I said before, we're still on 4G, and the country is not fully covered on 4G, and we're going to 5G. Now, 5G has brought a lot of controversy, and the controversy, most of them cannot be wished away. And in fact, one of the things I've also, somebody I take in one of the universities in the UK, in the US, one of the scientists, I think I was just reading by the internet today, have found out that, yes, the 5G radiation is non-ionizing radiation. But it also been shown from that research that if you expose that up to 5 degrees or 5 times under heat, the 5G begin to cause problem. Now, if that happens, that's been proven already, I think they did that in the science. If that happened, compare Nigeria with the heat. Now, all these are part of the issues. But the key point here is that 5G has good, seem to have good, or we provide good technology advancement. But also, 5G has environmental and health hazards. Now, the question they ask me again is, how do this correlate with coronavirus and 5G? I don't have an answer to that, and I want to be honest to you. But a lot of pundits and a lot of people, and as a believer, I'm a Christian, and some faith people believe that all this technology advancement has something to do with the end time. It provides a table, it provides the catalyst for human beings to do things which are not natural. And I gave an instance where people, machine to machine, human beings becomes tool. So that's one of the fear and the worry of the people. So for me, if I was given an opportunity to advise the country on the NCC, and the NCC has come very clear, as much as I know that, yes, tests have been done on 5G, but government today have not issued any full license on 5G. And two, that when that will happen, they will look at public opinion and public view. So for me, 5G, yes, has an impact. Anybody who says it doesn't have an impact is telling a true lie. It has an impact. And that impact, the level of impact, that I don't know today because nobody has given me a full toxicology result to show the full impact of 5G. But looking at it from the simple mathematics of the number of base stations that will be deployed in the whole nation, is a huge investment. It also creates some hazards. So whether the hazard is just merely biological hazard or environmental hazard, or it's a spiritual hazard, whichever way, there's a hazard. I think that's where I want to pin my point on. And my advice that government should tread carefully. The 5G has been tested, yes, but it's not, without 5G we won't die. There's no, Nigeria will not stop anything. It will not, it will leave us behind. Let's complete on the 4G. The 5G already have 3 levels. We have the low band, the mid band, and the high band. And let's pursue, my desire today is that let's pursue to migrate from analog to digital. Let's take the first step first, than taking a leap.
Even George Orwell, who wrote 1984, would not have envisaged the level of invasion of privacy that technology allows for. Now, that is a major concern. What you did mention, Internet of Things, and people have been saying like this means that there will be no privacy for anyone anymore if indeed and when 5G is rolled out. Do you have any concerns about the need to preserve privacy?
Yes, I do. I honestly, there are 2 opinions I'm putting here. I'll put opinion 1 as somebody in the industry. I have a personal opinion, and I'm sharing those 2 opinions. First, what I've told you is opinion as somebody that's in the industry. As personally, and I speak as Godfrey Ohuabunwa, if I had my way, I'll say don't do 5G. Privacy is one part of it. I gave you an answer. I have a friend whose name is called Kwesi Chu. Kwesi Chu is the GMD of Multi TV. In Ghana. He is the biggest TV station in Ghana and the radio station in Ghana. He was a schoolmate of mine. I only to discover that Kwesi Chu does not own a cell phone. For more than 10 years, I asked him why. He said he doesn't own a cell phone. I said, how do you live in current time without a cell phone? He said he would not own a cell phone. Now, I gave an instance that despite the psychology and the spiritual part of faith, Cell phone alone has made people who are supposed to work for 8 hours to work for 24 hours. Maybe you don't realize that your workers, you're supposed to be earning salary for 24 hours because you're working 24 hours. These are impact. The impact of privacy is one, it will impact on our privacy. Two, the impact of human nature, it will impact on our human nature. When machines, when we begin to relate with machines, it's not natural. Three, there are other issues. Okay, let me just blow it out. We've talked of the issue of 666, the issue of the end time. Honestly, I studied my Bible. I watched a film many years ago called Omega Code. This may be just speculations, but sometimes speculations become reality. And besides, we are faith-based people. If you look at what has happened in that technology, over time, it will come to the point that by the time the chips are put in your body, by the time all these things happen, you will lose control. Human beings will no longer have control over themselves. That's the danger some people are worried. You can no longer have control over yourself. Somebody can remote control you. You can see that and your body becomes a cell phone. Your body becomes an engine. Come on, it's frightful. So the good thing, yes, but please, there is danger. I also believe, that's what I'm saying personally, and that's why believers, if you listen to some pastors over the last couple of weeks, has been talking about it. So that there is danger, yes, there is danger, because it's something we don't know about. So when there is danger, what do is slow down and look at it properly and see if there's a fact to what the other people are saying. Businessmen like us want to rush out and make money, yes, but there's a danger. And besides, every of the technology, every advancement of man is spearheaded by some people. It ends up in money. All this is saying something is good, viruses, antiviral, it's not free of charge. Somebody is making money whenever he produces antiviral, whenever he produces something that protects people, it ends up in money. Whether it's better life, but there's a business out of it. So we want to be careful about it. Those who are proposing 5G is good for our life, it's good for us. Let's realize that it's also a business. And it could be somebody's business.
To make profit, we hope that they do abide by the ethics that guide business and every other field. Vice Chairman of the Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria, born Sir Godfrey Ohuabunwa, thank you so much for joining us on The Morning Show.